complete spoiler cast here for the Avengers Endgame. If you have not seen this movie, do not watch this review unless you want to be spoiled for it. You have been warned. Alright, so full spoilers here. 100% spoilers. I'm going to warn you one more time. If you're the type of person who don't care about spoiling a movie, then watch it. If you've already seen it and want to hear what our actual opinions on it are, this is it. So we are going to talk about from the beginning to middle to end here. We are going to spoil everything for you. So if you have not been spoiled yet for this film, you are about to get spoiled. So if you've seen it,
turn back now.
Yeah, now is your chance. I'm going to do this last warning. We are going full spoilers here. Let's go. Full spoilers here. First off, what do you think? What was your opinion on what they did to the Hulk?
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was very interesting because it was basically the complete opposite of Thor Ragnarok, where he was the Hulk, stuck as the Hulk, and then once he switched back to Bruce, he did not want to switch back to the Hulk, and so he was like that in Infinity War.
Basically what they did to the Hulk here was he was Bruce Banner as the Hulk.
He was like halfway. He was between.
Yeah, I mean, he was Bruce Banner and the Hulk, but he was actually Bruce Banner, and he talked like Bruce Banner, but he didn't have all the aggression that the Hulk had. He was very calm and collected, Bruce Banner, but he kind of looked like the Hulk, but not quite as big, but he was still green. And I loved it. I think it, it's what they did there was really cool, was the fact that, you've seen the Hulk. You've seen the Hulk in every single movie. Here's something they did a little different, and it was fun, and he was a cool character. And I'm surprised. That really surprised me that they did that to the Hulk. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever.
It almost makes me wish that process of him figuring that out would have been in one of the movies instead of us coming into it after he's done that, because it would have been interesting to see, I guess. And maybe that's something they did in the comics. Maybe that's where they got that from. I don't know.
Right in the beginning of the film, Thor goes to Thanos, finds out where Thanos is, and, spoiler alert, cuts his freaking head off. And everybody in the theater's like, oh, what just happened? And that was a shock, I think, to everybody, because they're like, okay, they just killed Thanos?
And it's 5 minutes into the movie, and this movie's 3 hours long, so now what?
Yeah, now what happened? So they eliminated the Thanos threat right away in the beginning of it, rather than having Thanos, because a lot of people, I'm assuming, expected, like myself, to have Thanos still as a major threat through the whole thing, and they're going after him to try to fight him, and that was not this movie. The threat here for this film was the Infinity Stones themselves, not Thanos. Now, Thanos destroyed all the Infinity Stones, so there was nothing they could do to fix it. I mean, they were screwed. So there was no way of reversing this unless they figured out a way to go back in time, which they did.
Which I think was something that a lot of people assumed that they were going to have to do to reverse what happened, but I know my immediate thought as soon as Infinity War was over was that, okay, well, it's going to have to do with Doctor Strange. They're going to have to get the Time Stone somehow, and he's going to have to reverse time in order to go back before Thanos got the stones and reverse everybody getting killed and everything else, which is not what they did at all.
Yeah, even when I, talked to Vince when he was doing the reviews on here, he said the same thing. Well, it's going to have to be the Time Stone. It's going to have to be the Time Stone. Doctors are going to have to get it. And I thought the same thing. I thought, well, they're going to have to get the Time Stone. They're going to have to go back in time. But yeah, that did not happen. What they actually did, it all had to do with Ant-Man. Ant-Man actually was the factor of how they went back in time and defeated Thanos. And I did not really see that one coming.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So basically, at the end of... Because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after Infinity War, after the first one. Came out last summer, I guess, right? Like last July-ish.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't there during all of Infinity War, and so we're sitting there thinking, okay, well, if this movie comes out after Infinity War, and half the world dies in Infinity War, what the hell is Ant-Man and the Wasp going to be about? Well, turns out Ant-Man and the Wasp is happening at the same time as Infinity War, and at the end... in the post-credits, Ant-Man goes into the quantum realm, and then Thanos does the snap, and he can't get back out because everybody that was with him is gone. So that's that sums that up. That's how they figured that out.
And everybody's like, well, how are they going to get back out? How are they going to... Actually, it was pretty funny. It was like a rat. Just hit
Just walked across his thing and turned it back on.
That's a pretty simple way of bringing him back. So
yeah,
it was pretty funny. So yeah, he was great in this film. He was in here a lot too. A lot he was in this film. And I thought that was cool that they put him in here so much. And now we get to Thor. I absolutely loved what they did to Thor here. I mean, it was funny, and, it was the same time, it was just like he was still Thor. But you know what that just opened up the whole door of, right?
No, what?
Fat people playing Thor. Fat people can...
I thought you were going to say other Thors besides Thor.
No. Now fat people can cosplay as Thor. So, there you go.
Depressed people can cosplay as Thor.
Yeah, drunk fat people can play as Thor, and they'll be Thor. I mean, they're Thor from Endgame. So I was thinking of that when I was watching the movie. I was like, wow, here comes a whole new group of cosplayers. Thor.
I did like that he was hanging out with his buddies Korg and Meek.
Yeah.
Playing Fortnite.
So yeah, he was great. I mean, I thought he was fantastic. And then you had Hawkeye, and we haven't seen him for quite a while. And when they brought him back, it was great. I mean, they did a really awesome job with him, and he went on a murder rampage and murder spree because he was like, how did all these idiot criminals survive this? And, all my friends and good people are dead, yet these idiots are still alive, and he's going to murder them all. So it was a really awesome little story for him to go on by himself to bring him back. Great story.
I'm trying to remember. It's a 3-hour-long movie.
And then we have Iron Man, who actually was sort of at peace here on the beginning of this film. And we both went into it fully expecting Captain America to croak at the end. I 100% thought they were going to kill off Captain America. I wasn't sure about Iron Man because he's the one who basically started this. He was the first one. He was the anchor. Without that film, there would not be this movie. And I just didn't know if they would do it. I didn't know if they would kill off Iron Man, but I really thought Captain America was going. I was waiting for it. 100%. I thought something was going to happen, and he would have to kill Thanos, and they were going to kill him off. And, well, he did not die. He did not die at the end. They actually had a really good part with Iron Man in here. He had a family, he had a kid, he was in peace. And here come the Avengers to screw it all up, telling him, that they can reverse all this and figured out if they could go through the quantum time realm of whatever. And there was a lot of mentions here of Back to the Future and other films. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure even got mentioned here of how to time travel. Movies. Yeah, so it was pretty funny that they were actually trying to do it semi-realistically as much as they could in this movie. So that was really fun to see. And so then the other big thing was with Iron Man and Captain America meeting. And they did not have the best relationship because of what happened during Civil War. And they still were arguing in this film, at least for the first half of it. And then they finally decided, just call it truce. And, there's more important things than them arguing about it. And so that was really nice to see that they finally semi-made up for what happened. So I was glad that happened.
Yeah. And Cap got his shield back.
Yeah, that was the other one. And I did see that accidentally on one of the commercials because... I seen him sliding his hand into the shield. And I was like, "Oh my God, he got his shield back!" So
this is why I don't watch commercials. This is why I don't watch trailers.
Yeah, I was really excited about that. I mean, because he can't really be Cap without the shield. But it was so cool, all that to happen. And then obviously, what happens here is the time travel. Is they go back into the films, basically Back to the Future style here. Because that's what kind of started that whole thing. And they went back to all the parts in the films that were, I guess the fans' favorite parts. So you get to see it over again, just like Back to the Future, but they're off on the side experiencing what really happened. But at the same time, it expanded what really happened. So you got to see after what happened, not just what happened. Like, for example, when with Ant-Man, and they got the Infinity Stone, and they were bringing it out of the elevator, you got to see the rest of that play out, what happened afterwards. So it was kind of cool to see that. If
you had asked me to predict what was going to happen in this movie, how they were going to solve this and fix this, not in a million trillion years would I have said, oh, well, they're going to travel back in time into the other movies to get the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would I have thought that.
I mean,
and it was so good.
Yeah, I liked it, but at the same time, it was Back to the Future. I mean, they did the same thing, but I mean, I'm not complaining about it. It was fun to see it. But like I said, though, they went back and they did that over, but they expanded on it. So it wasn't just that. So
the only part of it that I thought out of all that was overlong was the Thor part. That part, I mean...
That's where I went to the bathroom.
Yeah. I came back during it from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because I think they spent a little too long doing it. I mean, I guess...
And this is the reason why this movie is 3 hours, because they had to get, it was like 6 Infinity Stones, so they had to go to every single movie and figure out where the Infinity Stones was and get them from that part of whatever time it was they were in and bring them. So that's one of the reasons why this thing was as long as it was. I still think they could have shaved off at least 20 or 30 minutes in the beginning of it to get to that. But, and some of that, like you said, could have been shaved off too. Just get them and move on. And, you know.
In my opinion, I think that the places where they could have cut things down was some of the Thor stuff when he's on Asgard, and the stuff with Thanos in the past with past version of what's-her-face, Nebula, and past Gamora and stuff. I think they could have trimmed that down a little bit.
And like I said in my first review, which if you didn't watch it, this really wasn't about Thanos. Like the first one, he was a threat. This one, he wasn't really the threat until towards the end of it, but the stones themselves were the threat. He wasn't so much the big bad guy. It was them destroying, getting the stones, destroying them. The stones themselves, Infinity Stones, were the threat here, but Thanos ended up finally becoming the threat for like the last, I guess, 40, 50 minutes of the movie. And when that happened, oh my God, that final battle, worth it. Worth 11 years watching and seeing every single freaking Marvel character come out and defend the Earth against Thanos' army. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Every person, every side character, every army from every planet, just everybody. Anybody that's been in any of these movies basically was there.
And it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And once again, Doctor Strange has become one of my favorite characters now in the Marvel Universe. Even though I didn't like the first movie, but throughout these rest of these films, he's been such a cool character. And when he showed up, that was it. It was about to get serious. It was like, oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Doctor Strange is about to drop it. He's about to drop it. And he did. He dropped it. And it was just great. And it was really great to see all these people trying to kill Thanos and get the gauntlet away from him. And they were all... Spider-Man was there. Finally, he returns. And all the Guardians were there. And it was just so... The last 40 minutes of this movie... You were on your edge of your seat through the entire thing.
I went into this movie fully expecting to bawl my eyes out, to just absolutely be crying the whole time. I actually took a big handkerchief with me because I didn't want to use a million napkins. I ended up not needing the handkerchief. I didn't cry as much as I thought that I was going to. I did cry, not as much as I thought that I was going to. I think because I fully went into it expecting that, well, I 100% thought Cap was going to die, and I was pretty sure that Iron Man was going to die. So, like, if anybody else had gotten killed, it would have been, like, a complete shock. It would have blindsided me.
Well, someone else died. It was Black Widow. She died.
Well, obviously I wasn't that broken up about it.
Well, I was not. I was never a Black Widow fan. I just never liked her character. So when she croaked, I was like, eh. Yeah, I wasn't really upset about that one. I was just like, whatever. Bye.
But the things that got me was, I can tell you, I've got a list.
Okay. Here we go.
When Spider-Man reunited with Iron Man and gave him a hug, that got me. When everybody on the goddamn planet showed up and Cap said Avengers Assemble, that got me. When Cap was able to wield Mjolnir, that got me.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then the end of it, obviously.
Right.
Those were my big emotional moments.
And the big spoiler here is Cap dies at the end. Should we say it? I'm not even going to say that. Never mind. So there is a big death here at the end, and I'm not even going to say who it is. I don't think I've ever said it yet in this review. But one of the major characters does die, and it is,
This is a spoiler review.
I know. But, okay, Captain America dies. I mean, they kill him off.
Oh,
what?
He doesn't?
I mean, not Captain America. So...
Hang on. What movie did you watch?
I don't know. I see my own movie.
I guess.
So, Iron Man killed him off. But it was a fitting end. Like, I think Marvel did that just for the fact that he started the whole franchise, like I said in the beginning of this review, and they were going to end this with his death. And Doctor Strange knew he was going to die, and he asked Doctor Strange. He's like, "Well, was this one of the 100 billion scenarios?" And he's like, "Well, I can't tell you, otherwise it wouldn't happen." Told him that because if he told him that, then he knew he probably was going to die, and he couldn't say anything to him. But when he looks over to him and he's like, "The one," I mean, that was it. So yeah. That one got to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he was going to go out, at least it's a heroic sacrifice. It's a fitting end to that character that you've spent, 11 years with, 22 movies. I mean, he hasn't been in all 22 movies, but...
Good Lord, 22 movies?
Yes.
Jeez.
he got a good...
Paycheck? Oh.
A good ending. I mean, not a good ending because he died, but...
Right.
If he was gonna die, he died in the most heroic way he possibly could, so they gave him a good ending.
I tell you who I thought was going to die here at the end of it was the Hulk. I thought the Hulk and Thanos were going to go after it, and they were going to kill the Hulk off. I really thought that was one of the people. I didn't say anything because I thought, who else is going to go up against Thanos besides the Hulk? And I thought he was going to get killed, but he did not. So, and then after all this is over, Captain America shows up again. He has to go back and put the stones back where they came from. And I was like, really? Now they're going to kill off Captain America. I was like, here we go. I didn't think they were going to do it. They didn't kill off Captain America. They killed off Iron Man. Now they're going to kill off Cap, and this is the end of this movie. They're going to end it by him dying too.
Well, I can tell you, when they were doing the whole thing to get the stones, I thought that was the point at which they were going to kill him off, was that he was going to not come back.
He doesn't show back up, and there's an old man sitting there on the bench, and that was pretty emotional. And they give Cap a really good ending to this movie, and I thought that was great. It didn't end on a dour note, even though after Iron Man dies, you're all upset and whatever. But it ends with a good, uplifting ending for Captain. I think he deserved the whole thing, too.
I would bet that there will probably be a lot of people who are upset with that ending, but I think that he got the ending that he earned. Emotional. Oh God! Cut the camera off! Jesus Christ! And I will say that that's probably the best old age makeup I've ever seen in my life.
So you think that was actually him?
That was him.
No, I thought it was an old man.
No.
I thought it was just
an old guy.
I did. I didn't know it was him. I didn't know it was him at all.
No, I think that was him.
Right.
And that's the best old age makeup I've ever seen in my life.
If that was him, yeah, I agree with that. So.
Oscar. You win an Oscar.
So there you go. There is our thoughts on... You right? Okay. Get those in. Soak up those Infinity Stones. So there it is. There is our review for complete spoiler of Infinity Stone Endgame. Whatever this movie is called. I'm still dizzy trying to talk about it here. So, yep, that's it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And if you enjoyed Endgame and you liked the way it ended, if you didn't like the way it ended, you hated the whole movie, Tony, let me know what you think about it here in the comments section below. And love reading your comments, even if they're wrong, Tony. And
called out. Shots fired.
I am. I shot them all. Shot all the fires. So that's it. We've been doing this for a while, so I'm kind of lightheaded. Yeah.
I'm so emotional over here. I'm just trying to hold back tears.
You mean wave with this?
No.
I can wave it.
No.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back here when the next movie shows up.
Next month for Spider-Man Far From Home.
Next month. And Godzilla. That's it. Bye.
You alright?
Yeah.
You okay?
Dave? Yo, Dave. Begging? Do you need me to do a clapper? Do you need me? Do you like the clapper thing? Because I got one of those. Thing.